As a small biz pro, and so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today is November 5th, Crystal.
I know, man. We're already at the end of the year. It just like zoomed on past us, and it feels like it's on high speed alert right now.
Yeah,
Um, but it's almost over. We're almost in 2022.
that's right, man. That's
Yeah.
right.
So, and it has been quite a lively year, to say the least.
I'm a little nervous to start talking about expectations for 2022 because I remember in 2019 I was saying I can't wait to get rid of this year. 2020 is going to be so wonderful. And then come 2020 we had the pandemic.
True that. Yeah, I don't know if we should say that. I think we should just say, I think we should plan. I definitely think we should plan, but I also think that I'm going to put this mess so that Carlos can pair his channels. So I put that in there. I think it's
Yeah,
different. Oh, it's the
right.
same. So that works. It's the same.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we shouldn't be like really super well, we should. But here's my
But be
concern.
cautiously optimistic.
Right, there you go. Because here's my concern. So numbers are down for the pandemic, right?
Hmm.
But then I realistically, and this is how I think.
Yeah.
I know numbers are down because people's children that are in school. So
Yeah.
that means they're not as they're pretty locked in, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can't just go willy-nilly off anywhere because the children
Right.
got to be in school. But
Right.
come Thanksgiving, they're gonna
Yeah.
be back out there on the highways and the byways. Come Christmas, they're gonna be back there on the highways and byways. And I'm really concerned that
Hmm.
it's going to get crazy again. Now,
Yeah.
just me, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So
Well, your concern is well founded and should be respected because we've been down that road before.
so that's my concern. No, I did go get my booster on Tuesday.
Oh
So
yeah. So they got a
yeah.
boost. They got a booster for the Johnson and Johnson now.
Yes, they do, but I didn't get Johnson and Johnson. I went with Pfizer.
Oh, okay. So if you got another vaccine, you can get the Pfizer as a booster.
Yes, they said you can mix and match.
All
So I
right.
got it on Tuesday, so I'm still alive.
Uh,
All
your
my body parts are working.
your arm didn't fall
Yeah,
asleep
my
or
arm didn't
anything.
fall. It hurt like hell right after I got it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie about that. The day after, I'm like, why is my arm sore?
And you're trying to sleep, and it's like, oh man, that pain in your shoulders is killing you, right?
Yeah, so that was that, but it subsided. I took my Tylenol and
Oh
been
yeah,
pumping a lot of water.
yeah,
And but from what I understand, I talked to my girlfriend last night. So the age is either 65, which I'm
yeah,
not that, but
yeah,
because I did take the Johnson and Johnson and it did not have the same uh uh power of proof as the Pfizer and the Moderna,
yeah.
then I was eligible for the a booster. So, but I think everybody else still has to wait. I think they're trying to get those people that have immune compromised
Yeah.
or over 65, or in my case, Johnson and Johnson. So that's how I got it.
I guess I'm gonna have to wait then, huh?
Yeah, I think everybody else has to kind of wait. Hey, Alfred, welcome. I think everyone else has to kind of wait.
Mm, mm, mm,
So
mm.
I say proceed with caution.
Mm, mm, mm. Well, we're going to do the best we can to contain this thing because it's time for it to go. It's like having one of those overnight, over weekend guests at your house, and the weekend is over and they still don't want to leave. It's like, hey, it's time for you to go. Corona, time for you
For
to
you to
go.
go.
We're
So they
sick of you now.
can't go until the people do what they supposed to do.
Yes, yes.
So how was your week?
Oh my Lord, my week was crazy as usual, man. I've got all kinds of things going on. As you know, we got a few grants at the Los Angeles Urban League that we're working on with small businesses. So we've done our assessment to see how many of those businesses are business ready and grant ready. Then we went through the numbers and selected a handful to be referred for the grant. But I think I'm going to launch a workshop this coming week, on how to prepare yourself or your company to become grant ready. Because not too many people know how to prepare themselves. Not too many people know what to have ready just in case they're applying for a grant. So we're going to have to go over that. I'm going to have a
Well, they need the
checklist.
same thing they need for a loan.
Yes. But for a loan and business readiness, and to you and I, it's common sense, but to a lot of folks, it's like it's a mystery. So we're
Yeah.
gonna work on doing a workshop next week. So it's gonna be a webinar, and we're gonna invite 100 people or more, and just teach them how to become ready. And if through that teaching they don't grasp it, then I don't know what to say.
Well, here's the thing. They have been in workshops all year long since
Yeah,
last year for a year and a half.
yeah.
And every time there's a grant or a loan that's out there, they
Hmm.
have been invited to somebody's workshop and webinar on how to be ready.
Yeah,
So it's either they don't want to be ready,
yeah.
or they don't want the money. I'm at
Right.
that place right now that
Yeah.
I'm tired of holding hands,
I
because
know.
it's not
I
like
know.
the information is not out there. It's
I
not
know.
like we have not gone into overdrive.
Yeah.
I mean, we went into overdrive. If anyone has attended the community briefings for the
Yeah.
last, since it was launched, and since I launched
Since
it in April,
since the last 18 months.
months,
If
like 18 months. Every week when Colette Moore from PCR is available, she
Yeah.
puts up what all grants are out there, and then she
Hmm.
puts the qualifications down,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she has the least 10-15 minutes on our show.
Hmm.
And I can send anybody to any of those workshops, and I mean to any of the community briefings, and they will get the same thing. So I don't know if I mean the more the merrier, but I can't say that it's going to miraculously change anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You you are right, man. You're right.
It's a sad state of affairs. So you either have to be looking to do business, wanting to do business, and wanting to do business properly. And
Yeah.
we have focused on it every single day for the last 18 months.
Right. Right.
So that's all I have to say on the matter. Just like today, our
Yeah.
topic today is your business hiding?
Yeah.
Because it's all about that marketing thing. And
Yeah.
we back there. So we just want you guys to know, if you're tuned in today, that's what we're talking about. Is it possible to do business without marketing your business?
Are
And
you hiding your business unnecessarily?
right.
Does anyone
Purposely.
know, does purposely? Does anyone know that your business exists? Where are you? Where can you be found?
Are you hiding behind the bushes? I mean, what are you doing? You want your business to be found. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Is business possible without marketing? And are you hiding your business from your potential customers?
And for those of you who are just tuning in, you're on the Business Zone. This is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're on every Friday from 3 to 4. And if you guys make it interesting, we'll extend it to 4:30. So
Exactly.
that's what we do. And Crystal, Have we been getting any subscriptions there? Any
Yes, we
subscription?
have gotten a few. We've
Okay.
moved the needle just a little bit, not a lot, but we have moved the needle a little bit. So you guys can continue to go over to YouTube and hit the subscription button. It doesn't cost you not one red cent, but you will get so much value every week here on the Business Zone. And if you miss, excuse me, if you miss us when we're live, you can always go to our YouTube channel and catch any of the 547 videos that are archived on the channel. And if you're in your car and you just want to hear us, then what you can do is go to any of your favorite podcast stations channels, iTunes, Pandora, Alexa, any of those, and we are located there as well. So you could be driving along, getting these amazing tips and resources that will help grow your business. So no excuse, none
That
excuse at all.
that's right. That is
just,
right.
just run on over, and then tell a friend. Tell a friend what you're learning here. This is free. Trust
Oh,
me, if
oh.
Gilbert and I, you came to us for individual counseling, it would certainly cost you some money.
A lot of money, because we're top tier, baby. We're top tier consultant. We're called super consultants. That's what we are. Not the regular consultants. We are super consultants because of what you get from us. You get results.
Yes,
And
you
you
do.
also learn some stuff while we're coaching you. So keep that in mind.
Hey, we got Sandy Lou tapped in on us. Hey, Sandy Lou, how are
Hey,
you?
hey, Sandy Lou. Welcome to the Business Zone. We miss you. It's been a
Yeah.
while. It's been a while that you've been on our show.
Yeah, I think Sandy, you have to reach out to Gilbert so we can get you back on the show. I'm sure you've been doing some great stuff since we haven't seen her in what, since 20, we were in the studio
2019, I think.
2019. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's cool. So welcome, glad to see you.
come
um
come back to Jamaica, man. Come back to the Business Zone, Sandy.
Come back to the Business Zone. So what do you think of, before we get started with our actual topic today, what do you think about and this kind of illustrates things that you talk about all the time. So we know that Facebook is changing its name to Meta, to the Meta company, right?
Uh-huh.
So, but then I read last night that there is a Meta company.
Uh-oh.
And the Meta company says, no, there is already a Meta company in the technical space. They sell laptops and computers and computer peripherals, and they're in that space. So my understanding is if the company is in the same space, you can't have the same name, right?
That's right.
So they have issued a cease and desist, and that they have said that they've been strong-armed by Facebook to relinquish their name that they've had since I think they registered in 2019.
Yeah.
So they asked to relinquish it. So Facebook is wanting them to relinquish their name, and they're like, no, not doing that. So somebody says, well, that's crazy. Wouldn't you, if this is a business move, as a business person, wouldn't you had searched to see if the name already existed?
Well, because they're a big dog, they think they don't have to. And see, this is the information we share with our clients all the time. I got in a disagreement with a client about 4 or 5 months ago. It's the same thing we were discussing. I was telling her she needs to trademark her company's name. She said, I don't need to trademark my company name. Everybody knows who I am. And I'm an MBA graduate, so I know how to do this. And I'm saying, you may be an MBA graduate, but if someone like a Facebook steps in and decides to confiscate your name, there's no way you're going to win that battle because you are not trademarked. And see, this is exactly what's going on. So,
well, these guys had their name trademarked and everything. So Facebook is just strong arming them
They
as
can't
if.
win. They
And
can't
so
win
then they
this.
offered them some pricing, some
No.
they asked them, they put the price on the table, and they're like, no, this is
Uh-uh.
our name. So they
Uh-uh.
did trademark, they copied it, they did everything that they were supposed to
Yeah.
do. They
Okay.
registered, and so Facebook is saying, but I would. Zuckerberg is saying, I want this name, and so
Yeah.
therefore I'm going to get this name. But
Right.
the guy already went through the process, and that's why he knows.
Right.
He told him, he said, you can have this name if you're not in the tech space,
Yeah.
but the only reason you're going to this metaverse is because that's all the future, whatever that is, the future of technology, right?
Well, here's what I think about this, right? We know out of peer respect and due diligence that the company, the existing Meta company, is going to speak with their attorney, and based on the price that Facebook is offering them, they may take that because they may not make that much that Facebook is going to offer them in 5 years. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I think they did put a price out there. They said if Facebook gives them $20 billion, they'll step back. They'll let them have the name.
Billion?
$20 billion. They'll step back and give them the name. That's what they said. They're like, no, they're not doing it because they're feeling bullied by Facebook. And Facebook has this Meta thing. They've already changed so this is a very arrogant place that you're in. You haven't gotten the name legally, but you've already gone and start changing you changed their symbol. To Meta. But it's not yours yet to do that. So I think it's the arrogance of it that really the guy's like $20 billion.
This is very typical of that company because I'm going to tell you why. Remember when they first came on the scene, right? It was first, what was it? MySpace, right? And then he stepped in and did his little thing and strong arm MySpace. And you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how he came on the scene. Then after that, he was selling, as a corporation, he was selling common stock at the price of preferred stocks.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a criminal act. You see what I'm saying? Because the Securities and Exchange Commission, they penalize them for that. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. You cannot sell common stocks for the same price as you sell your preferred stock. There are two separate types of stocks. So that's what they were doing with their shareholders. They're selling shareholders stocks at the price of the preferred one. So they got in trouble with the SEC with that. Now, that's 2 times they've been in trouble, legitimate legal trouble as a business. And now this is the 3rd time where they've done all this.
Actually, not the 3rd time because now the reason the reason for the whole name change is because they're in trouble with the government on the fact that they're doing what they've done, the limiting of normal people's posts and stuff.
That's the part I was going to touch on. That's the part I was going to touch on. Okay, so usually, if a company is profitable and established, they're not going to change their name all willy-nilly in the middle of the event. You see what I'm saying? So there has to be something that they're trying to run away from or hide from while they're changing their name. You see what I'm saying? There's no way if you're making $1 billion, you're going to change your name from Mitchell Business Solution to anything else. Because your name is out there, your name is established, customers, you have the name recognition, customers know. Why are you going to change it now to M&B and Associates? Nobody know M&B and Associates.
Right,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because your brand is your brand. That's all part of the marketing piece unless you're trying to hide.
So it's something they're running from and they're hiding from. You see what I'm saying? So that's out there. And then now they're trying to muscle again. They're trying to muscle another small business, just like they did with MySpace when they first started.
Yeah.
Just like they did throughout their whole journey, where they kicked most of us off the platform. You and I and other people tell us we can't advertise or post anything anymore unless we pay. They're blackmailing us. You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
exactly.
So
This
it's
is this
ridiculous.
this reminds me of when I was working for in corporate America. So I worked for this guy, and I was in the financial industry at that time, right? So he would take a business and just run it into the ground, and once he ran it into the ground, then he filed bankruptcy, and then the next day he would set up a new business, just like business as usual the next day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he did this repeatedly, that he would run it into the ground, and
Mm-hmm.
then when everybody, um, debtors and everybody was coming after him, he then would bankrupt the company and then go to another name until
Yeah.
eventually he ran out of the opportunities to do that. So
Right.
that's what it reminds me of. So
Yeah.
just really silly.
Well,
And
those types of people is only a matter of time before the SEC and the federal get a hold of them, because they
right.
can't run away from the long arms of the federal
Right.
government.
And especially when you're a public company.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you're a public company, it's definitely completely different than being a private company. You have a lot
Yeah.
more latitude when you're a private company, and it's a lot harder to get to you. But when you're a public company, publicly traded company, for sure, it's easier to get to you. But all
Well,
I will say, for those individuals that are out there, that are in the stock market, soon it might be a good time to pick up some Facebook stock. They're not going
because
out of business, but the
because
price is going to sure drop down a little bit.
because the
So,
value is going to drop. Now, the question I want to ask Crystal, were those the shareholders, were they okay with this? Did they give approval? Because he can't just make a decision to do this without the approval of the shareholders. So I want to know about that part.
well,
It,
I think he does strong arm even his board. I haven't read that, but I'll definitely look into that. I'll look on
he
their
can't do that. He
yeah,
can't
I'll
do
look on
that
their
because
pages.
the board could fire him, just like that Papa John's guy. Remember,
Well,
he
actually, I have heard that their board is thinking. Good afternoon, Gregory. They are thinking about firing him.
yes, yes.
Yeah, or and getting a new CEO.
He
They say that he's he's on a different direction than what the mission and the vision of the
yeah,
organization is.
he
So I
doesn't
have heard that.
he doesn't have a say, even though he may be the founder of the business. And
Right,
once you have a board, and especially you guys shareholders, the shareholders can outvote you. You see what I'm saying? And
right.
that's how it works. I'm sure he doesn't own 51% of the stocks in that
No, he
company.
owns 31%.
There you go. There you
Hmm.
go. So the
Hmm.
other 6 to 9 can vote him out. You
Yeah,
know, even if it's not 6 to 9, but it's 50, they can still vote him out. 51, they can still vote him out.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That he's done this before with the common stock and the preferred stocks, and because of that, their stock price went down back then,
Hmm.
and now they're doing this again, and I'm sure their stock prices are going to go down again. You see what I'm saying? So when boards see that type of stuff, when shareholders see that type of stuff, they're going to have some issues with that. Because remember, they're investing, they're purchasing shares in these
Right,
stocks too.
exactly. And then so now they are the owner. They own the company. So yeah, there is, I guess, from the whistleblower, that it's been bantering around that he should step down as
Yeah.
CEO.
It's going to
Because
happen soon. It's going to
as
happen
soon as,
sooner than later. Yeah.
the monsters can only stay monsters for so long. Eventually, something comes after them. Stop. Look at Purdue Pharma.
Yeah.
The pharma company, they just bankrupted them,
Uh-huh.
and there's an interesting movie about them called Dope Sick on Hulu,
Yeah.
and wow, just powerful. So I read yesterday that even from the company has been hit hard financially, but the now they're going after the owners. But again, this is a private company, so you actually can go after under the lawsuits that are their personal lawsuits. So very interesting. And that is how business is done on a big scale, guys.
Mm-hmm. And as a small business, you want to be cognizant of that. You want to be prepared, because I'm telling you, the big dogs are going to come in and try to step on you and squash you like a bug, but you got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for it. And that's why, as a small business, it's good for you to be knowledgeable about your business, or have someone on your team who understand the dynamics of business, because they can't just step in. The first and foremost thing that I know today is not about trademarks, right? But I want all of you small businesses, make sure that you trademark your business's name. Trademark your business's name for several reasons. One, protection against pirates who come in and muscle you and take over your business, just like this Facebook one. That's one. The second thing is, if the time comes when you're going to sell your business, by trademarking your business name, it provides value to your business. So that could be an extra $100,000 or an extra $1 million in your sales price. So think about that.
I agree with you, Gilbert. That even though our topic is about, is your business hiding, it is about that to a certain extent, because part of
Yeah.
that trademark is part of the brand that you
Yeah.
should be creating as a small business, that when you start your marketing process. Because if you're inconsistent about the message, the image that you're portraying to the public, then it's going to be difficult to bring in the customers you need in order to
Right.
create the sales in your business, right? So in a sense,
Yeah.
it is about that. So
Right.
with that, we're going to just kind of jump right on in there, because I know you guys are all kind of interested. So I put together a little PowerPoint. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, what do you need to do as a business owner in order to let everybody know what your business is about, right?
Yes.
So, because we can't have a business and be in hiding. We just can't. It just doesn't work that way. It has to be, let me switch this over here so I can see
Think of it this way. If you live on a street, or you're operating on a street, your street has to be in the city map. It has to be somewhere, right? So this is similar to that. There's got to be a way for people to find you.
It gotta be. So we got our Carlos Garcia coming in. So he's perfect person, tech guy. And today, Carlos, we're talking about, our topic today is, are you hiding your business from your customers?
Oh, man, great topic. Great topic.
Carlos, man, I've been waiting for you, brother. Welcome to the business zone.
Hey, technology was making me cry, and I couldn't calm myself.
I love it. I love it.
So I thought, Carlos, that this was the perfect time. We're just before the holidays, and you look around and people are trying to close out the end of the year, and they're complaining that they didn't make enough money, and they don't understand why they didn't make enough money. Opportunities have presented themselves to them all year long for them to have speaking engagements, everything that puts them right out there in front. But nevertheless, they got no customers for the year. So our topic today is, are you hiding your business from your customers?
And it kind of goes hand in hand with what I always say to my customers. Why are you the best kept secret in town? Don't be that best kept secret, man. Get out there.
Right, exactly. Right? You can't afford to be that best kept secret, because you're trying to make sales, right? Yeah. I tell people all the time. Greg said, "Who's the guy with the beard?" That is Carlos Garcia, Greg.
Hey, it's Movember, so I'm actually doing this for a worthy cause. That's why I haven't shaved. Thanks, Greg.
So you aren't
Oh
in business
man.
if you're not making sales. That's just bottom line. If you're not making any money, a friend of mine said, make no mistake, you are in business to make money. Now, that shouldn't be your priority. You should have your mission, your vision, all that sort of stuff. But bottom line is, sales means profit. And the only way you can get to those sales is through customers. And the only way you can get to those customers is through marketing. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
I think we should create one of those little games, Crystal. You know, like your sales is connected to your revenue. Yes, your revenue. Your revenue is connected to your profits.
Exactly. Or I always tell people, I can't do bookkeeping if you have no books for me to keep. If you have no sales, there's nothing for me to help you keep.
Oh my Lord.
That's true. That's true.
And small businesses, we're not laughing at you. We're just making light of the situation to let you see that it's important. It may not seem important to you, but the things we're going over right now, it should be important to you in order for you to become visible in the marketplace. You cannot be invisible anymore.
No,
True.
right, exactly. So it truly, on a serious note, if you're marketing, that equals more customers, that equals more sales, that equals bringing in more money. That means dollars are that are now sales, and at the end of the day, you have enough money to run your business. And to show a profit. I coach people all the time, and when I look at their P&Ls, and I go to myself, I wonder if they could make more money working for somebody than they did made in this last year that they didn't done all of this excruciating work, and they didn't made less than they would have made if they actually worked on a job for somebody. That's how
Chan-
I always equate that.
chances are they probably could make working for someone else because
Yeah.
you know what they're making is pitiful, not enough to pay the bills, not enough to take care of their family. And you know the whole reason of getting into business is so that you're no longer a slave to the man and you're making substantial amounts that you have that generational wealth.
Yeah. And when I talk to people about starting business, that's my big thing is um really know why you're doing this, because being an entrepreneur, all three of us are entrepreneurs, it is not an easy task. It ain't no gravy train, right?
Uh-uh.
If any one of us don't work and don't set things up so we have ongoing revenue coming in, even when we're not working, we're in trouble because we don't have the 2 weeks from now to write a check.
Yeah.
And when the mortgage is due, when the car note is due, when you got to feed the kids, you got to have money. So it requires you to work. So if you're going to venture down this entrepreneur pathway, you got to have a plan.
And the part that I say all the time to entrepreneur is all of that is fine, but if you have employees also and you can't pay them on payday, that's a big problem because you can go to jail for that, for not paying your employees. So
Exactly. Well, most of them don't even get to that place because they don't have the money to even get to that place. Greg says business is not business, not business. And as we will all tell you, everybody's marketing. The Vivian's here. She's hi Vivian, how are you? She's she has a cleaners downtown on Central Avenue. So she markets one way. Greg is in the financial industry. He markets a certain way. Gilbert markets a certain way. Carlos markets a certain way. But bottom line, I assume we all have a marketing strategy of some sort.
Hey Vivian, how are you? You need to give me a call, Vivian. I'm gonna put my phone number in the chat. Give me a call. We need to talk soon.
So just know that marketing isn't a one size fit all. It's a customized plan and strategy that works for you so that you can identify who your target market is and how to get the message to them to make sure that they are they're hearing you, and they're consequently are then supporting your business. So I have a story, and I'm sure you guys do as well. When I first started my business, my method and strategy was I had built a really strong external network. Even before I needed them, I had this amazing network. So when I told everybody what I was doing, um, uh, my business just soared by word of mouth. And so I was cool. I operated that way for about 10, 15 years until 2008 or 2000, 2008, when the recession hit. Most of my clients we lost Carlos. Most of my clients were either in the real estate, mortgage, and churches. Those are who my clients were. So that's who the recession hit the hardest. So consequently, I lost about 65% of my business. And so now all of a sudden, Gilbert, I'm going to have to practice what I preach, right? I got to start marketing. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never done this. I've never had to go look for clients. But I jumped right out there, and I created a strategy, and now today it has, my business has come back, and I've picked up and some different directions. I've gone in some different directions. How about you, Gilbert?
Well, it has happened to me too, even during the pandemic. When the pandemic first hit, March of 2020, I was like, ugh. Nothing. There's no money coming in, no customers, no clients. Everybody is at home. Everybody is, trying to make things work for them. And so I had to put a marketing plan out there. And soon people start responding to that effort, because a lot of folks wanted to apply for PPP, the idle loan grants, and all of that. But their back office wasn't in order. They didn't have the paperwork they need. And that's how we were able to start helping those small businesses be prepared to go after those grants and those loans. So, yeah. I had to put some effort in there. I had to put some work in it.
Right. And then sometimes you don't even know that you are being watched by others, right? You just doing your thing, setting up your strategy, and the whole idea. I'm bringing you in now. Just trying to get my mouse to stop acting crazy, Carlos. I can get you in. I didn't even. For me, sometimes I don't even know people are aware that I'm out there. I'm just doing what I do. But I will say this, that by launching the business zone and launching the community briefing, and I just recently joined into another podcast, that keeps me out there. That is an amazing being in a creating content and being online 3 or 4 times a week is the best thing in the world for my business.
Now, Crystal, what was the slide before this one? What was the slide before this?
The one before that. Greg said to you, Carlos, did you get hacked?
Yeah, I don't know where I can respond to all of this, man, but I don't see an option to respond. So,
you don't see the chat? There's a chat right there.
I see the chat, what comes up, but it doesn't seem to allow me to respond.
But are you on? You can respond
at the bottom. At the bottom where it says
respond in the chat, and then in the private chat, and then we'll pull it over.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Let me go back. This was what the previous slide was, Gilbert. You aren't in business, you have no sales.
Okay, all right, beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, you have a gig thing going on if you have no sales. Not consistently things going on. You're not in business. I hate to tell you guys that.
You got a gig. You got a gig, right?
Business means that you're making sales, your business is legal and structured, and
making some profit.
And making some profit, and He said technology's making him cry, Greg. So he came today to have some fun with us. So anyway, so basically that's what we're talking to. But for you, so what I did today was I looked at how do we most of the time I hear people say I can't market because I don't have any money, right? So it's like it's a catch-22. I don't know how to get people if I can't spend the money to get them. I don't have money to run ads. I don't have I don't have the money to put together my website properly. That's what you usually get. That's at least that's what I get. What about you guys? What do you hear?
So one thing I'm going to tell you, though, kind of going back to that slide you talked about, you can't have a business with no sales. I think part of the issue is too we're all guilty of doing this. When you first start out, you want to make sure that you get clients, so you do things for free, and or you do it for less than what it's worth, and eventually, people take advantage of you, and you realize that you're losing money by spending so much free time and trying to help people because they're taking advantage of it. There's that old saying that takers will keep taking because givers keep giving, right? There's got to be a fine line. And I think at some point too, you got to come to the realization that, if you're good at what you do, you should be paid what you're worth, and you shouldn't have to devalue yourself because you want to make a sale. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what I've learned also is by me giving you those extreme discounts and all of that, I'm not only am I losing money, I'm devaluing my profession, but I'm also making you additional money because you're saving money and you're spending money on something else instead of investing it on where you should be doing it.
That's a great point, Carlos. That's a very great point. And in addition to that, I think the small businesses or micro businesses out there listening to this program, one of the things that you need to do, and this is what Crystal is leading to right now. One of the things that you should do at the beginning of the year, you have a budget. You establish a budget as to how much you want to make for the year. So if I want to make $200,000 for the year, then you break that down into 12 months. So if you're making $200,000 for the year, how much should you make each month for 12 months to equal that $200,000? And then you break that down further. Okay, I'm going to divide whatever that is in 4. That means it's going to tell me how much I should make per week. So if you have that kind of budget that you establish that you need to make your sales budget, then there's no way you're going to lower your prices or give these outrageous discounts because that's not going to lead to your goal unless you're going to sell more than you should to get to that for discounting your services or your product. So those are things that will help small businesses to think a certain way.
Exactly. Backing into it, you have to know where you need to get to. So you have to know what it takes to get there. So if I say I want $200,000, I certainly have to know how many sales I need to make every single month in order to get to that $200,000. And Carlos is absolutely right. And I also think, Carlos, we all have to give away stuff in the very beginning, right? In order to be able, that's one methodology or per se strategy that we use. I will do it for free, so you'll be able to understand what the value of the services I'm going to provide. But there's like a fine line between when you have to stop, because at some point, because you have devalued your product, now they don't want to pay you at all.
Exactly.
Right. So you get to that fine line where you didn't completely devalue what you have to offer, and they think, if I just call them, they'll give it to me for free.
Right. So an example of that, Crystal, is let's say Carlos is selling his websites for $1,500. That's what he sells a basic website for. And because he's trying to make this money, he's trying to see if he can, do a sale with this person, because it's been difficult to try to sell this person on the website. Then he said, okay, I'll sell you this website for $800. I'm going to give you a discount. Now, they're going to be expecting that your sites are now going to be for 800. Two, they're going to go tell their friends, yes, I got this site from Carlos for $800. So now when that person comes to Carlos and Carlos say, hey, it's $1,500. Well, how come you give Mary for $800? So that's the kind of thing, man.
And trust, you're going to spend more time working with that person for $800 than you are going to work for that $1,500.
Yes.
In fact, by the time they get done with you, you will have been paid $200.
Yes. Yes.
True story. Yep.
Yes. So that is so amazing, man. We just got to put our feet down and say, because here's the deal. They will do that to us, but they're not doing it to the other folks. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not.
I was teaching in one of my classes this week. A young lady said to me, we were talking about making sure you do your research, even on the people that you're professionals and building your business and what that looks like. And I can't remember how we got the websites, but I was talking about tools and things that you need to be able to have a successful business. And this young lady tells me that she paid $8,700 for a website in today's world, and she's just launching a business. This is the very first business she's ever launched, and I went, "Wow, my dear, you have overpaid."
You see exactly what I'm saying. Now that's the same person who's gonna come to Carlos and say, "I can't pay you $1,500." You see what I'm saying? But they'll go somewhere else and pay $8,700. Man, I'm telling you.
How much of a website do you get for $8,700? In today's world,
at $8,700, I better have coffee at my door every morning. Blueberry muffin, and they're going to be at my beck and call. Heck yeah, you know.
And someone giving you a back massage, exactly, or something
right? Like I'm feeling stressed. I need a massage.
And better yet, that $8,000 website needs to guarantee that I'm going to get 20 sales every month. That's what it needs to do. For me, that's what it needs to do.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think the reality is, man, and I think we can all agree on this, is, you know, we got into business. Well, obviously, we all need to make money, right? We all need to pay our rent. We all need to pay our house, our bills, and all that good stuff. But I think the approach that we've taken in our careers has been to obviously to have a very successful business, but we're always in this to really help the entrepreneur, help the small business, help the medium-sized business, that to have choices and not get taken advantage of. You know, at the end of the day, you know, any networking event that I attend, you know, I run into a whole bunch of IT guys and all that. But I mean, I'm sure you guys do in your industry as well too. But the bottom line is there would be 1,000 people doing the same things that we do, but it comes down to how we connect with somebody and basically what we can offer them that somebody else can't. And what that is, you know, we'll say this for all three of us, is that we really, for us, is not about the money. It's really about helping those businesses thrive.
Right.
And that's priority. I think it's been since I've known you guys. And this is why I enjoy always talking to you guys, because we've always had the business owners as a top priority. You know, the business, the money will come or whatever, but we always want to make sure that they're taken care of as a high priority, no matter, regardless of small, big, medium, whatever the business size is. And anyway, that's just a little side note on that too.
And I think that's even part of the process as well, though, because now you're creating that value, right? Our value proposition is to serve, right? And we do that with excellence. And so therefore, that's why I always have word of mouth businesses, because it is done with excellence and it's done with the business owner in mind as our top priority. We want you to succeed. So for us to do that, then we have to make sure if you're, and it also represents us a little bit as well, right? You tell them, hey, Crystal is my coach, and then your business is, you know, you out of business the next month. Well, that wasn't that. What kind of coaching did she do? Right. So, or you wouldn't want to create a website that you know it's just trashy, because again, that represents the business and the quality of what you do for a living.
Yeah. That is true. True. And it's so good that we're talking back and forth about this, Crystal. Really good. So you guys, today's topic is is your business hiding? Is it hiding and not making any money? So Crystal is here to give you guys some tips on how you can make yourself visible. It's just like being in the dating market. When you're dating, you don't want to be invisible. You want to be visible to some potential mates. So in your business, you want to be visible to potential customers.
Right.
Hey, and also be real, right? Don't put a picture for you like 25 years ago because you still don't look like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right. So and that's really where it starts with the marketing, right? Is making sure that your outside brand is appealing to other people, that you are looking good and saying, now you may still be trying to pull this together behind the scenes, but the outside says, I know what I'm doing and I know how to get there. And I'll work on it. I'm a work in progress, but I'm going to work there. So I have a logo, I have a website, I have social media platforms up, I have my LinkedIn, I have all of these things in place, because if me, the consumer, go to look for you, I need to be able to find you, and I need to find you in dating mode.
That's right.
I need to make sure you looking good from the outside, at least, until I get to know you better. But I need to be attracted to the outside.
So that's a tall order, man. That's a tall order.
So that they don't have to swipe left, right?
Yeah, swipe left, right. But also, I think when it comes to marketing, people do think that it costs a lot. But and Carlos, you can speak to this. Technology actually has changed some of the cost factors for marketing, right?
That's true.
You have ways that you can market your business far cheaper than we did, say, when I first started business 30 years ago. 30 years ago, you had to pay for ads.
Yeah. Right. Paid to be on the radio, paid to be on TV, paid for print ads, and now it's different. You can go on social media, you could do a little TikTok video, you could do, all types of things.
Sing your own theme song.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right.
For those of you that don't know, Gilbert is quite the talented singer on the theme song.
This is a good segue, Crystal. Carlos and I did a little test show the other day, right?
Okay.
So we did a test show on the air, and Carlos he's a musician himself too. So
really?
we were teaming up to present this show. What is it called?
BizTech, yeah.
BizTech Happy Hour.
Oh, really? Well,
yes.
Two people out.
so we wanted to bring you in, Crystal. We want to bring you in too, so you can get a piece of the pie.
So what Crystal doesn't know is that I'm trying to convince our friend here to do a little heavy metal theme version.
Heavy metal theme reggae. New genre.
So that's what we're working on. That's what we're working on, Crystal.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Well, that fits right into low budget or no budget marketing.
That's right. So how people find you?
People, right?
That's right. How people find you and pull your marketing, right, Crystal?
Right. So basically, there's two ways for people to find you, and one of them is having people find you. So one of the ways is when Carlos and Gilbert just said they're going to put out a nice little jingle, and of course, people are going to be going like, "Wow, okay, this is interesting.
This is different."
I thought you were just going to say, "Why? Why are you putting it out there?"
Well, they might be saying that too in the why area. Or they may use Google just so that they can keep Googling it to find you guys doing this.
Gilbert will go viral one way or another, positive or negative, right?
I know, man. I know.
Well, you know, we're in a different time area where good media or bad media is equal to viral videos.
That's
It
right.
doesn't really matter where you're good or bad.
That's right.
You can put it out there. Just depends on what you're looking for your client. But some of the things that guys, I understand my clients, and I understand that money is always a big issue for them and how much money they should spend. So what I did was to do some Googling to find out, what are some of the budget ways that you can have people find you. And so most people spend most of their time using Google to find anything that they want. And Carlos, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I did find some research that it says that people Google for what they need and want at least 70,000 times per millisecond.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I believe
amazing.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a lot, right? So if we put the message out there and people will Google either Carlos Garcia FYI technology, or someone that can handle technology for me, somebody to build websites. If they have your name, they may put your name in multiple times. I always find it interesting when I go over to LinkedIn and I look just to be curious. How many people have actually searched my name out on a weekly basis on LinkedIn? So this week it was 131 people. Now I don't even know that I had touched 131 people.
I'm gonna have to start looking at mine. I want to know what they're looking for.
Well, I guess they've maybe heard your name, which means a couple of things. People are talking about me, or maybe they ran across my the video, the business zone or the community briefing, and they want to know who I am. Or
they may say, I wonder if this person is a crook. Let me check him out.
Exactly. You won't see that on my LinkedIn, though.
Oh, my
Hashtag
Lord.
crook, right?
Yeah. Hashtag crook, right? Exactly. Yeah, they would see that on LinkedIn. But if I had a brick and mortar, and they may find that on Yelp, and they may find that on the Better Business Bureau, and they may find that in other areas that you can actually Google another person. They may find that.
So, Crystal, earlier you said there are two ways that sales occur.
So one is people finding you, and this is how they find you, either on Google. They're asking friends for referral, which is what I get a lot. If they understand hashtagging, they use hashtags on social media. They use keyword searches, online directories, and they see your typical traditional digital marketing material that you have out there. That's usually how people find you. But you got to have that stuff in order for people to find you.
Right. Yeah, and the other thing is too, like, you don't have to really blow your budget on just certain things or whatever. There's a budget for everything, right? And it also depends on where you want to start and how far you want to bring that along. But you got to do it in baby steps. Some people go crazy sometimes with ads on digital media. They'll spend thousands of dollars and then they expect that they're going to get triple the returns on people that call it all that. So you mentioned earlier, the whole point of this is stay on top of mind. You're doing your shows, you're doing different things, and that's how folks are going to find you. But there is a budget for everyone. I mean, like you said earlier too, it's not a cookie cutter system. Everybody should be looking at this stuff individually, and from time to time, man. Sometimes a second pair of eyes is a lot better to do an analysis of what you're currently doing, what's not working, what have you been doing, and that's stuff too that we can help out with as well too.
Yeah.
Exactly. Greg put in comments that 30 to 35 years on an average, ads came in front of our eyes each day. Now it's close to 1,000. We're like almost overindulged with the ads. So now you can unique in the sense that your ad or your message can actually cut through the chatter, because there's a lot out there. So they have to still be able to see you. So you still got to be kind of creative at how you do it. in order to be seen. The next one is, the second way, Gilbert, is how you find people. So if you were in the sales industry, usually the sales people are actually looking for you, right?
Right.
Or they have to devise a clever way to find you. And so you, as the consumer, or as the small business owner, you have to look for your people. And so you can do either research prospective clients, you can do cold calling, which I think is the hardest thing on the planet, but then I'm not a salesperson. I'm a soft sell person. I don't really go after the cold soft, but there's some folks out there. I got some friends out there that are amazing at that whole cold call stuff.
Yeah. Some people were born talented for that specific purpose, man.
Yeah. You can do organic social media posts and stories and engagement. That requires consistency. You can't just do it one time a month and think it's going to do anything for you. You really, truly have to be posting and on social media on a consistent basis. That's why young people are really good at that whole Instagram thing, because they spend their whole entire day on Instagram, passing and sharing and commenting and things, that kind of stuff. So you get most of your influencers on those type of platforms because people are there all the time.
The other thing I want to make sure that folks also know is we're still talking about budget. A big argument I've had with other marketing folks is they continue to keep pushing email marketing and the drip campaigns and this and that with all of that. And Greg just brought up another good point, which is why I want to bring this up. A long time ago, 16 ads compared to 1,000, and that's just on even now on social media platforms. But if you're like me, you receive just tons of emails a day from these campaigns and all of that. So normally you're having companies have you invest thousands in these email campaigns, but for what? Number one, it goes right to your spam. Number two, you get bombarded so much with from the same company also that it becomes very annoying. So guess what happens? I'm going to block you. So all of that money that you're spending on some of these email campaigns, you got to really rethink that, because ultimately it's not really getting to the destination where it belongs. And you're spending money. You're basically throwing money away. And that's just my perception of what I've seen. But there's other platforms. Everybody has one of these. So why aren't you marketing to this?
And that's the next big thing now is doing the text messaging, because people are going to see that on a regular, because you have this in your hand most of the time. You're absolutely right. In fact, on my emails, I have it, I use Gmail, and I use Gmail specifically for this because I can when my ads or when emails come into me, it goes into primary, it goes into primary, it goes into social, which anything coming in from social media, then it goes into updates, and it goes into non-people that I don't know. People are just ads and just sending me stuff. And then at my leisure, I go through that stuff. Primary gets my first attention. Social, depending on if I have things that I've actually posted out there and I want to see what's happening there. But updates and things like that, those are my weekend projects when I have nothing else better to do. So that's what I do with that. SEO, when Carlos comes back, he can talk about search engine optimization. Now, I will say that I've been doing some practicing with our SEO for the Business Zone, Gilbert, and we're starting to really trend on the higher search levels. Carlos, can you address that so people understand what that is? And from your technology place of expertise, does that work?
Yeah, it does work, because you have to work with, like say for the Google algorithms or the analytics, right? There's certain things, keywords or different components that you put on your website for it to populate a little bit better, especially when folks are researching content. Like if it's technology, if it's finance, if it's business, whatever it is, the SEO really helps with that too. there's a guideline. I mean, the reality is you can do it yourself, but like I said, everything that I do, for example, it's not rocket science. It just takes time for you to invest and learn it. Same thing with SEO as well too, but you got to do it correctly. But at the end of the day, I mean, let's be realistic. Folks are trying to build their business. They're not trying to spend, an hour or 2 hours trying to do SEO, trying to do marketing, trying to do this, and that's the reality. You can easily become a full-time job just on that aspect alone. And if you want to build a business, then you got to really take a look at, outsourcing it or finding somebody that you can collaborate with to take that headache away from you too. But it is important because, a quick tip also is just like for example, the SSL certificates, that affects your ranking on Google. So if you're not popping up, it's because Google is just putting you at the bottom of the list because you don't have a security certificate for your website. And that also is part of the SEO process. One of the first things that you also need to have as a business owner with the website as well too.
So do you recommend people, well, one, they should be updating their website, but how often do you think that a person should update that a website, and if their website is over 5 years old, should they be doing that now to make sure they have the proper security?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Remember, in this day and age with cybersecurity and all that, you're more than likely to get hacked. You're more than likely to get your own website hacked and get booted off of it, or have it infected with viruses as well. If you have a website that you haven't touched in 5 years, I suggest you dump it and start all over again. It's customary usually on a website. It's especially if you're more of if you're not selling products constantly. Make little changes in there, at least once every couple of weeks, something that's a little bit, that changes it up so it's not stagnant. Obviously, if you're in what you're doing, maybe put out tips daily so there's fresh content weekly, and that also tells the algorithms that, okay, this isn't a stale website. There's content here that's being put up.
Okay. I agree with that. And something that I've noticed about Facebook, when individuals have Facebook pages up and they pride themselves on never going to look at it, but those are the ones that usually get cloned. I have looked at it when and I know that I'm a friend with somebody, but then I also know that they don't spend any time on their Facebook page or any of their social media. Those are usually the ones that are very dormant, that if somebody was looking to clone you to get access to your network, that's the ones that's going to be, because you're not doing anything new with it. And I say, if you're not going to do anything new with it, take it down. That's what I say.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be sitting out there. The next way to find the people that you're looking for is, of course, asking for referrals from customers and your referral partners and vendors. Now, this next one is really one of the reasons why I even wanted to do this topic today is on trade shows and speaking engagement. So I'm always baffled that when someone is actually a vendor at a expo or a trade show where they have a prominent role, they're either a booth, especially virtual, they have a booth, they're speaking, that they don't tell anyone in their own network that they're out there. That always baffles me, because this is a free opportunity for you to get free advertisement through whoever you're being asked to speak for. So if they have a following and they are spend all this time and effort to bring these people to you, the best you can do is to bring your people as well. One, it increases the audience, but two, you're going to meet new people, and the other people that are also on the platform are going to meet new people, which could then expand your customer target market.
Yeah. Yep, I totally agree.
So use those opportunities. If someone's asking you to speak, and especially if they don't pay you to speak, then at least you can get maybe you can get a customer or two out of it that will compensate the time that you actually in that space. And also, never, whether it's live or virtual or whether you're in person or you're virtual, never leave the room without collecting contact information. So then you can reach back to these people after the event to follow up on any questions and to also include them or incorporate them in your network. Don't leave money on the table, because that customer could be ready to spend thousands and thousands of dollars with you. You didn't get their information and they didn't get your information. So therefore, there you go. Thousands of dollars are already out the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's really important.
That's a good point.
Now, I participated in a friend of mine asked me to, she referred me over to a lady that was in Georgia that was having she was having a workshop last year. And so a friend of mine's referred me to her. She like, we'd love to have you on our panel. I think she had like 25 different speakers on the panel. And she said, our goal is we want 1,000 people online. And each one of you will have 15-minute segments. In this particular case, it was free. Invite whoever you want to invite. And so from there, okay, cool. I was asked, and so they got their 1,000 people. They asked each one of us to send out marketing material for the event. They asked each one of us to tag everyone, and at the end of the day, they got their 1,000 plus people. So, and it was just because we all were highly engaged in making it happen. Greg says, I was on a sales coaching call this morning. The advice is to always speak to a group for free until such time that you are recognized as a paid speaker. I agree with that, Greg. I've been, that's kind of how my speaking engagements kind of have started. And now I get paid for it. But at first I started for free.
That's part of your marketing right there.
That's part of my strategy. So there you go. Strategy. Having a strategy.
Yeah.
But the other part, Gilbert, this is something interesting and that I learned from speaking and at an event I was at earlier this year. So it says it suggested knowing your customer. And there are 4 types of customers that you should have in your arsenal. You should have the best customer. This is the customer that spends, they don't shop with you often, but they do spend a lot when they do come. Then the next one is a sustaining customer. They don't spend a lot, but they shop frequently and are loyal to you. And then the lookalike customer is people who look like your current customers but shop elsewhere. So your goal is to bring them to you. And then your aspirational customer is the zero on that customer that's going to take you to the next level.
Right. And that is so accurate, because a lot of times when we're out there trying to meet customers, we're not thinking of those dynamics. You see what I mean? They're just looking at, if you offer someone, you said, okay, here are 5 categories of customers that you can look at. You got 3 percenters, you got your 7 percenters, you got your 15 percenters, you got your 25 percenters, and your 50 percenters. Which one of those groups will you go after first? They're all going to say the 50 percenters.
Right.
And the 50 percenters are the hardest group to get. The hardest.
They are. You have to work your way up to those 50 percenters, right? I mean, I have some customers, and I'm sure you do too. I have some customers that are my best customers. They, they're frequent. My sustainable customers. When I first started my business, I call them my bread and butter. That's why I use that image right there. Those are the ones that pay the bills.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that they're there every single month and they take care of the bills.
Yeah.
My best customers are the ones that come in that, they ask me to do a task. I do it. I present them with an invoice. They say no problem, and they send me the money the next day. That's my best customer, right? So we all should have those. And then lookalikes are customers that resemble somebody in your customer base that you want to go after. There's somebody else has them and you would love to have them. And I got a couple of those recently. And then I think you just hit upon the aspirational customer that's going to take Small Biz Pro to the next level. Would you say that?
Oh, certainly, definitely.
Yeah. So those are what you should get. So that's part of the marketing package, guys. You have to know who you're targeting so that you can craft the message that they need to hear in order to spend the money. Because again, it's all about how do you increase your revenues and your profits with your existing database. And if it's not doing that, you need to expand out to your next. And so,
now, Carl, Gregory mentioned that cold calls migrated to cold emails. Greg, do you mind expanding on that a little bit? From cold calls to cold emails. I know what that means, but as a customer, this is how I react to cold emails. I either delete them or I shut them down because I don't know these people. And they're reaching out to me, telling me they can help me and all of this good stuff. So some of these emails, when I get them, I said, okay, this person's telling me that they can help me without even knowing what my needs are. So that right there, I shut down immediately. The next one that I received these cold emails from, I'm going, I don't know if this is a hacker. They're putting links in these emails saying, click on this link to find out. I'm not going to click on this link because I don't know these people. You know, for all I know, they're telling me to click on this link so it can take over my hard drive of my computer and start either wiping out my database or capturing a list of my customers. So how do we deal with that, Greg? How do you deal with that?
I know for me, and I'm sure Greg is going to be typing, I know for me, like I get that a lot on LinkedIn. And I feel that it's kind of like the dating thing, Gilbert, is courting. You got to at least know who I am. You have to, Greg says Carlos already mentioned it. The way to warm up the email is to embed a video inside the email message so that they'll know that you're authentic.
Oh, okay, very good.
That's a way. But I do know that when people reach out, and I get a lot of people reaching out to me on LinkedIn, and generally they jump right in there, give me a call, let's do business. No, I can't do business with you because I don't know who you are. Right. But if you reach out to me and say, hey, I read your profile, and then they start mentioning some things in my profile, and I see that we actually do have some synergy, then can we schedule a time so that we can have like a 5-minute or 10-minute conversation, so we see that there's some interest. So there's quite a few people that have used that approach that I actually have responded to. The ones that come after me with the high sell, I can do business with you. Yeah. Greg is funny. Greg said people are not responding to text. They're too lazy to read, but they're responding to images and video. He absolutely right about that.
That's true. That's true. One of the rules of marketing is that marketing videos get 70% more views than a hard email, a text, or anything to that effect. So that is true.
Yeah, which is why video business cards have become popular for a minute, and then I think people kind of went away from it. But a calling card should have something that can tell me who you are, and so that I would be interested in getting to know you on that next level. But so to close out our topic today, I want you guys. These are some action items. So one of the things we all should be doing, especially going into 2022, is write down what our current practices are, and then go back and analyze it, see if it worked over the last couple of years. I know we're in some different times now, but really need to analyze it in these times, and then find out what's lacking, and then go out and see if you can find how to shore up that weakness, right? Next, make sure that you revisit your ideal client. avatar and narrowly define it and know how you can reach them through searches and the platforms that you're on. Create content and repurpose it. Networking authentically to authentically to build relationships, which is what Gilbert was just talking about. Just don't come at me
Mm-hmm.
to
That's
sell
right.
me something and on the internet, and I don't know
Yeah.
who you are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So create authentic relationships so that you can build a bigger and a broader network. Have a plan of action for your organic posting on the right platforms where you can find that very specific client of yours, customer, and stay up to date with website changes and SEO, as Carlos just mentioned, and create create a high level strategic marketing plan. You can have a low cost one and you can have a medium cost one. And then when you start raking in all that money, you can have a high price plan. But you do have to have a strategic plan.
Sounds very good to me. Sounds very good. And one thing I would add to that, Crystal, is businesses, micro and small, should identify at least 4 customer groups that they want to go after. Just like you had your 4 customer groups up there. Identify those 4 groups and build your marketing strategy around those groups. Okay.
Right.
So that's what I would do. And just remember, while you're doing that, you've got the 5 categories. You got the 3 percenters, the 7 percenters, 15 percenters, 25%, and the 50 percenters. The 3% are the people who want to buy right now. They want to purchase your product and services. They just don't know where you are. They're looking for you. That's the 3 percenters. Then the 7 percenters, they're also looking for you. But they're so miserable with their existing service provider, so they'd say, whatever, they're all the same. But if you find them, you can get them over on your side. All right, so that's the 7 percenters. Then the 15 percenters are the ones they're willing to switch over to you, but you got to convince them, you got to entice them to come over to your side. And in order to entice them, you're probably gonna have to give them, like, money back guarantee, or try it. If you don't like it, we give you your money back, something to that effect. Okay, that's the 15 percenters. Then the 25 percenters are the ones that you can't approach them directly, or if you do, they're not going to respond to you. But if you go through an influencer, or you go, let's say you are with a chamber, or you with a trade association, and you go through the chamber or the trade association, speak to your president and say, hey, I've been trying to tap into this client over here. This client is, let's say, the city of Los Angeles, and we can't get to them. Can you do an introduction for me, or can you speak to them on my behalf? That's the 25 percenters. They will respond to you through your president or your liaison. And then finally, the 50 percenters, you are invisible to the 50 percenter. They'll never ever do business with you because you're too small, and they only work with large firms, large entities. So keep that in mind. So the next time you put your marketing strategy in place and you decide to go after the 50 percenters first, just keep in mind you're going to be wasting a lot of time. Go after the low-hanging fruit, the 3 percenters. They're there. They're looking for you.
Exactly. So go back to those first couple of slides there, guys. Go back to the beginning of this conversation, and that's what we're saying. Those people that are easily to get to, and that 25% is your ultimate goal, because those by this time, if you are acquiring and attracting that 25%, but somebody else is warming the coals for you, and now this is a warm introduction. They've already told them everything that they need to know about you, including how much you charge. And so now the process is you just closing the deal. You don't have to sell yourself, because somebody already, your ambassador has already sold you to their network. So you just have to come in and close the deal. But on that other side of that is you do have to You do have to make sure that you perform at a place of excellence, that you
Right.
provide the value um, that the person that introduced you to this particular client has sold them on. So make sure you bring your A game when you do this. Gilbert, Greg says, thanks for talk about images and marketing. Your slide has me wanting Randy's donuts, Krispy Kremes, or
I saw
somebody
that. I saw that. I saw that.
get you guys
So
hungry,
sorry,
wanting.
sorry, Greg. We didn't mean to make you hungry.
And this conversation couldn't be complete without what is an average budget for marketing. So I did
That's
some
right.
research, and this is what I discovered, that every business needs to market to your customers, and we've already told you why. So here are some tips for budget. So if you're doing B2B, your marketing, the percentage of your budget should be 2 to 5%. That's an average. You can do more, but of course, B2B, they make decisions. They kind of know what they want. You don't have to sell them. They already know what they're looking for. So if
Yeah.
you can present it to them in in a manner that they are receptive to, and it fills the need that they're looking for, they make decisions really quick, especially if you're delivering your proposal to the decision maker, to the check writer. So somewhere
Yeah.
between 2 and 5%. The B2C, your budget should be a little higher. So 5 to 10% of your revenue,
Because,
right?
because you're going to spend more time trying to convince them. So that's why
Right.
it's a little higher than the B2B.
Right. So that's why
And
it's
just so
higher.
you guys know, B2C means business to consumer. That's what B2C means.
And
Okay.
B2B means business to business. So
Yes.
that's it. And then once you do that, make sure you set very clear goals on what your expectations are. Make sure you consider all your potential costs to getting your product to market. And also keep track of the cost and just regularly. And then number 5, which is not there but should be there, is go back and analyze the matrix to make sure that you did reach that particular person that you needed to your target market.
And when you consider all your potential costs, you need to put that together and calculate what is your customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost to acquire a customer? Now that includes the marketing material you market to them. If you got to sit with them and have coffee, try to convince them that they need to buy your product or your service, that's part of your customer acquisition cost. How many times do you have to reach out to them? How many phone calls you got to make? All of those things tally into your customer acquisition cost. So you want to know what that cost is, because that costs something.
Exactly. So that's all part of considering all the potential costs in this process. But at the end of the day, as Gilbert said earlier, set a number, and that you want to increase your revenue. You can either percentage you want to increase your revenues by, or an actual flat number that you want to increase your revenues by increase your revenues in 2022, and then work backwards. And then once you've acquired what it requires to do that each month, then you go out there and find those people that can make that happen.
So again, if your goal and objective is to make revenues in the amount of $200,000, then you take that $200,000, you divide it by 12. You divide it by 12 for each month to let you know what you need to generate for that month. So then you divide it by 200,000 by 12, you're going to get $16.6667. So $16,667. That's what you're going to get per month. Then you're going to take that 16,000 and you're going to divide that by 4 for each week. And now you're going to get $4,166. So keep that in mind. If you can make $4,166 per week from your customers, you'll be on your way to making $200,000 a year. So that's our little tip for you today.
Exactly. So last summary, and we're closing down, is don't spend a lot of time getting caught up in the minutia of what you should be posting, how you should be posting, where you should be doing that. Don't get all messed up by the forest. They say sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. So
That's
make
right.
sure you have a clear, concise strategy. Make sure you make it as simple as possible, just like Gilbert did. Create a number, divide it by 12, divide it by the week, and there you have it. So keep in mind what your big picture is and what you're trying to achieve, and then go for it. So with that, guys, that is how we no longer are in hiding as a business. The whole world knows that we're doing business, and we want the world to know we're doing business. Okay.
You're putting yourself out there so your customers can find you. Remember, those 3%ers out there, the 3%ers, they're looking for you. They don't know you exist. They don't know where you are. They know someone like you exists, but they don't know where to find you. So put yourself out there, and before you know it, those 3%ers are going to come rolling in.
And those 3%ers will be your bread and butter, and they will sustain you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Sustain you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And of course, I'm sure you guys are going to do your research to find out the size of your market. So if you're selling websites, you know how many people, you're going to do your research to find out how many people purchase websites per year, what's the annual dollar amount that these people spend. And based on that, you'll know the size of your market. And then 3% of that is what you want to go after, 3% at least. 3%, because that's easy marketing, easy target. They're looking for you.
Go looking for the low-hanging fruit, as Gilbert would say.
Low-hanging fruit.
So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Next week, we actually have a guest, and actually, we're going to have Sharon Peterson. She is over an alum at the Goldman Sachs 10,000 businesses. So she's
great.
Come in and talk to us. So she's
excellent.
Dr. Sharon Peterson. So tune in next week. You guys can find this show archived at on our YouTube channel. Go over to our YouTube channel right now. And I know Greg and his humor, tree percentage.
This guy's crazy, man.
He got his Jamaican stuff going on. Go over to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you guys next Friday.
Friday at 3 p.m.
Yeah. Remember, time changes this weekend, so...
Oh, really? I did not realize that.
Yeah, it changes this weekend, so be safe. Also, guys, go on to my Facebook page. Look for the Los Angeles Black Business Expo. It's going to be taking place on November 20th at from 10 to 4. And the tickets are $20. We have Dr. George Frazier. We have award-winning author, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice. We also have billionaire Mike Roberts talking about how to create wealth utilizing real estate, and some other amazing 40 other amazing speakers. So you want to go over to my Facebook page and click the link there and get your tickets today. It's going to be fantastic. So,
Vivian, thank you, Vivian. Thank you for watching the show. Greg, thank you for watching the Business Zone as well. Alfred and everyone else who's been watching. The Business Zone is on every Friday from 3 to 4. And like I say, if you make it interesting, we'll extend it to 4:30. So that's what we did today. We had class in session. We were talking about marketing to make your company visible. Make sure your customers can find you. We went over some interesting tips today, and I hope you guys learned a little something from that. You had a little takeaway that you can take away with your business and can step up your game so you can increase your revenue. Every Friday, the Business Zone on YouTube, Facebook, Crystal, Gilbert, we're amazing. Okay? We are amazing.
And we're humble too.
And we're humble. We're humble. Now, next week, I'm going to be hosting a webinar with the Los Angeles Urban League, a webinar to teach small businesses and micro businesses how to become grant ready. We have a lot of grants coming down the pike at the Los Angeles Urban League, and many small businesses have applied for some of them already, but they really didn't know how to pitch and present themselves, so they didn't get those grants. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of what we need to do in order for you to get your grant. And there's a lot of money. You know, President Biden has this infrastructure bill that's coming out, and there's over $65 billion being allocated to small businesses in terms of internet services and broadband, also for technical assistance for small businesses, and some cash grants that you guys are going to get. So we want to teach you guys how to get that grant, how to be ready. We're going to go over a checklist of items. So I'll send you guys emails, invite you to this webinar, and make sure you guys show up. Make sure you do our assessments, get in our system, in our database, so you can get your grant. So with that being said, Crystal, did you have anything else you want to add?
No, I'm ready to take it on home.
I'm ready.
Take it on home.
That's
you, Greg,
right.
for the humor. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Vivian, for tuning in.
As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.